GM, good Monday to one and all. Question for you, are we in a bear market? Well, yes we are, and we have been for some time already, since November last year. The truth is, I haven't turned the auto cue on. We've been in a bear market for some time already, and the truth is the bottom most likely hasn't happened yet. And I would expect that to be much closer to the previous all-time high of 20,000, but I'm not a TA expert, I'm not a market expert, I'm simply someone that has been through all this before. And that will hurt. Yeah, going further, going deeper into all of this will be painful, but it's also necessary. And then it goes sideways for a bit, and then it might go up, and then it retraces all the way back down again, and everyone goes, wow, we're back, and then we're not back, and then it just goes on. And most people get ground out and lose hope. Will that be you? Well, only you can decide that. Now, details on losses incurred by large VC holdings thanks to the Luna crash have actually been pretty hard to find. But the data doesn't look great for Hashed, who was staking around 50 million Luna, which would have been worth around $3.5 billion back in April. $3.5 billion in April. Ouch. Delphi Digital issued a contrite post entitled Learnings from last week. The irony that something we believed in caused the opposite to occur ripped at the very fabric of who we are and what we stand for. We always knew something like this was possible, and we tried to stress the risks to a system like this in our research and public commentary. But the fact is we miscalculated the risk of a death spiral event coming to fruition. We've taken some heat for this over the last week, and we deserve it. The criticism is fair, and we accept it. Not only taking a ton of heat, but losing a ton of money as well. Now, Mike Novogratz, he of the infamous Luna tattoo, who does that? Come on! Issued a statement via Galaxy Digital highlighting the transparency of blockchain, that the idea it could fail, that Terra could fail, was public knowledge and was hotly debated in many forums. It was a big idea that failed, and if you heard a cracking noise off camera, that was my companion Alp cracking his knuckles, which is a really good thing to do when someone's trying to read a script, you noob. With hindsight, things always look clearer. My tattoo will be a constant reminder that venture investing requires humility, as does cracking your knuckles off camera. Crypto is not going away, nor was Alp, by the way. The amount of human capital moving into the space isn't slowing down. The focus on building decentralized infrastructure that allows value and ownership to flow as freely as information on the internet isn't slowing down. Except that it is, of course, Mike. It's slowing down because we're in a bear market, and it will continue to be slow, and people will continue to dunk on crypto during that time. But never mind. And then he also says the GDP of metaverse is heading one way. Well, what does he mean by that? The GDP of the metaverse? How is that measured? Where is it going? We need more data, Mike, please. The proposal to fork Terra and create a new chain stripped of UST now it's still open for voting, and if you missed our video on the specifics of that vote, you can catch it here. 66% in favor at this time, with 2 days left before the vote closes, and it looks pretty likely that it will pass. But as you recall though, there's still a long way to go before anyone is made whole, and that's assuming that those who built on Terra still have the stomach to do so and the network can retain some kind of value. As for Do himself, there were gaudy headlines last week suggesting Terra were being pursued for $78 million in unpaid business taxes. There were also suggestions via data presented by Elliptic that Terra had bailed out large holders in the UST via BTC redemptions at close to face value, leaving retail stranded. But again, these are all allegations. According to Do himself, there is no tax issue, but it remains to be seen if the smoke is masking a giant fire somewhere. As always, take what you read on Twitter with a heavy dose of salt. Larry Chermak of The Block posted a now deleted tweet about CZ and Binance's interest in Terra after a furious bout of threading by the Binance boss, which looked a little sus. CZ jumped straight back on his BlackBerry to rebut the accusations thusly. And that really leaves us all to wonder, well, what exactly is the truth out there? And will we even know? One of the loudest voices during this debacle has been Fat Man, author of the well-supported tiered repayment proposal on the forum. And just this morning, he posted an ominous tweet alleging whistleblowers having provided evidence of serious crimes. And that tweet was provided to me by Alp, who showed me that indeed he does have at least some use. Now, Fat Man points the finger specifically at the people's billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried, Do Kwon of course, and Kanav Korea, president of Jump Crypto, the market maker that tried and failed to defend the peg. He says, go time. Is there more to come? Well, clearly this one is going to run and run, but there is so much here just to be very, very careful about. Don't rush to judgment, don't rush to assumptions because an anonymous person on Twitter tells you that they know something. Now, plenty more happened last week. Vitalik's Soulbound Tokens paper got people thinking about non-transferable NFTs with a soul. Farmer bro Martin Shkreli outed himself as a Clink Uniswapper and proved just how tone-deaf he really is by making his Twitter avatar a milady. Yet another project drowning under the weight of its own conspiracy baggage. But the highlight of the week has to be Eric Wool of Arcane Assets, who you can also find on a podcast we did some months back, who earlier this year embraced his thought destiny, transforming from this to this. Yowzers. But while that was a nice piece of crypto satire, he reached full legend status this weekend when successfully catfishing Shkreli himself under the alias ZK Enrique. And, ZK Enrique bit on Erica's bait, like this.
I feel like dancing, dancing.
Proving without a shadow of a doubt that all that time that Martin has spent in jail has tarnished none of his undeniable class. I'll see you on the next one. Try and have a better week. And now, the sponsors. In 2021, Ethereum traders lost over $200 million to malicious bots exploiting their trades. As DeFi continues to gain popularity, this number is expected to rise. Eden Network is a next-generation private transaction service for Ethereum, providing traders with MEV protection by submitting transactions directly to miners and away from the prying eyes of harmful bots. Using Eden Network for Ethereum transactions results in better and safer trades. Eden Network recently launched Eden Rocket RPC, which compiles some of Ethereum's fastest private transaction networks, resulting in 90% plus effective hash rate. This makes Eden Rocket RPC the fastest private transaction network available, protecting you from bots. Join the best and get started with Eden Network today and trade safer.